Today is the fast of the 10th of Tavis. 10th of Tavis is when our enemies encircled Jerusalem to destroy it 2.5 years later. Breach the walls on the 17th of Tammuz, and destruction of the temple happened 3 weeks after that on the 9th of Av, as we know. Now, the fascinating thing is today is Friday. And normally on a Friday, you wouldn't fast because that means to say we're fasting going into nightfall. Here in Sydney, the fast does not end until 8:39. That means to say we cannot make Kiddush until that time. And normally people would make Kiddush even a little bit earlier, etc. So in a sense, we're going into Shabbos with fasting. And normally Shabbos pushes away the fast except for Yom Kippur. If Tisha B'Av falls out on Shabbos, we push it to Sunday. If the fast of Esther falls out on Shabbos, we push it back to Thursday. Only in the case, the only fast that we will still fast, even on a Friday, and if technically it would be possible, which it isn't, to fall out on Shabbos, the 10th of Tavis, we would also fast. Why? Because when the prophet talks about the 10th of Tavis, he uses the term Be'etzem Hayom Hazeh, the essence of the day, which is the exact same term that the Torah uses for Yom Kippur. So therefore we learn that the stringency of the 10th of Tavis is equal and similar to that of Yom Kippur. And now the question is why? Why would the 10th of Tavis be more strict than the day of the destruction of the temple itself in Tisha B'Av, or the day of the breaching of the walls? All that happened is they circled the city, but there were so many possibilities of the people living in Jerusalem to still be victorious over them. Nevertheless, this is the day that seems so serious. Why is that? And the reason is because every boundary is made to be breached. Every boundary is made to be breached. If you allow the enemy in or to the boundary, they are going to breach that boundary. What happened on October 7th is that for many years we had them coming and sending balloons making fires to the boundary. We had them coming to the boundary all the time, and that in a sense created a situation where we were not fully on guard when they're coming towards the boundary. We probably thought it's another one of these sending fire balloons, etc. We should never have allowed it. Never have allowed it. We have to have a buffer zone. We cannot have them coming straight all the way to the boundary, because when you do that, you're going to have the breaching of the boundaries. Every boundary is ultimately going to be breached. And that is a very powerful, important lesson for us in general. When we allow the evil inclination, so to speak, to encroach on us, we go to the edge of where we should be. It makes it so much more probable that we're going to cross that line, that we're going to fall off the edge. Always remember, stay away, keep the, so to speak, the evil inclination away from the fence, away from the line. In other words, don't put yourself in positions that all you need is one cross of a line to fail, because that's likely to happen. That's what the 10th of Tavis teaches us. Once we allowed them to encircle Jerusalem, it was almost inevitable. They would breach the walls and ultimately destroy the temple. And that's what our sages are trying to communicate to us, the importance of boundaries, and that we need to have a buffer. And that's in our life as well. So think about it. Those things that are, people, if you're trying to diet, if you absolutely love certain foods, it's probably not a good idea to be around those foods, because likely might fail. So stay away. Well, that's in a diet. How much more so in matters of spirituality, of good behavior. We have to learn where our lines are and kind of take a few steps back away from those lines.